intent. And so that's going to pop up in August. And it's going to say, make sure and sign and send in your letter of intent. And so then it's not in my rattling around in my head and I'm always remembering it at just the wrong moment. I can let it go because I know that reminder is going to automatically pop up at the right time. And I don't even have to rely on you don't have to rely on yourself remembering to check in the same way that you do with a paper, because with a paper system, there's a lot more manual moving and checking and upkeep that it requires for it to work that way. You can do it. Getting It Done, GTD by David Allen, has a system for doing those kind of reminder systems with paper. A trigger, he calls it a trigger file. But we do digital so that it does that for us. Yes, that's OmniFocus, is the task management app that I use, and that is a Mac-only app. There are other great ones. In Work the Plan, the ones that I recommend are Remember the Milk. I used Remember the Milk for like 8 years, I think, before I switched to OmniFocus last year, and I'm still really learning the ropes on OmniFocus. But Remember the Milk is a great one. Cozy, I have not researched Cozy too much, but I know Cozy has those kind of reminder things and the calendar kind of in one. That's great. Todoist is another good one that's cross-platform compatible. Wunderlist is one that a lot of people like. It's a lot more simple. And so just an app that has the apps that have the ability to have repeating events that will pop up. I really liked Remember the Milk, and I thought it was great. In fact, if you get Paperless Home Organization, that one recommends Remember the Milk and tells you all the tips and tricks for using Remember the Milk. So, yes, Remember the Milk is great. There are a couple bonus features that OmniFocus has that aren't necessary, but I really like, and it's pretty. So it's a lot prettier because it's a Mac product and that's what they do. So I switched, but Remember the Milk is a great app. Todoist, Remember the Milk, Wunderlist. I feel like there's one more in Work the Plan that I take you through a tour of and show you how to set it up and how to get it working for you. But a task management app, and the thing is you have to check it and work from it, just like with a paper list. Yes, my geek husband also, he's a computer programmer, so for some reason he thinks that paying for software is a good thing because it kind of pays our bills. So he thinks that people should pay for software. So, yep, my husband does that also. So yes, he's my web developer, design server. I know. So I'm going to get him to help me answer the security questions because for Evernote. Anyway, the final important piece that your plan needs is a daily note. So some kind of daily list that really helps you stay laser focused on what has to happen today, what are your priorities today, what do you need to keep in mind while you're moving on through your day. So it's going to be a very small list. It's not going to be everything you wish would happen today, everything you would like to happen today. Your daily note is like top 3 things and maybe some kind of motto or pep talk, quote, or something to keep your mindset right. That's what your daily note is for. And also just writing out the date every day kind of helps me remember what day of the month it is and that sort of thing. So for a long time, I used an index card. So I had all my information digitally, and then every morning or evening sat down and wrote out my daily index card. And I still fall back on that sometimes, and I still think that's awesome. Just to handwrite your note out, it just puts it into your brain in a different way, and it helped me process it, and I think make it happen a lot more likely. Definitely, depending on your situation, it can be easier to check or carry around with you, just a little index card. So if you search daily index card at Simplified Organization, you can see a number of posts that I've done about that. Then for a little while, well, then after I put Work the Plan out, and in Work the Plan, I recommend a combo system. Use digital for some things and paper for other things. And then I got an iPad after I put Work the Plan out, and I decided that I wanted to just try going all in on digital and do everything digital. And I'm still ironing that out, and I think I might go back to the index card. But I tried for a little while doing my daily note in Evernote. And I'm going to show you how I did that in the course. And that worked fine and great. Evernote's not the prettiest. So if the aesthetics of the thing matter, then you're not going to like that. But it is possible and a good option, especially if you're already in that program, because you don't want to multiply the places that you're checking. Even if it's just tapping multiple apps, different apps are still like different places that you have to go to check things, and you want to keep those down to a minimum. There is not a free version of OmniFocus. You can upgrade. I don't remember what the upgrade perk is. I know they do try to upgrade you, but I don't. I don't think there's a free version of it, unless there's a free trial, and then you purchase inside the app to upgrade from the free trial. That might be what it is. Anyway, right now, my daily note, I'm experimenting with using Numbers, which is the Mac version of Excel, but it's prettier. It's prettier than Excel. And I can make, right now my school checklist is in there, and I've been putting my master teacher checklist in that for at least half of this year. We've been doing it that way. And so for the last month, I've been experimenting with different formats for making my daily, what used to be my weekly, I used to have a clipboard, and it would have a weekly spread, and my index card fit on top of it. Yes. Well, with Numbers, I have that on my iPad and on my, Numbers. It's on my iPad, it's on my iPod, it's on my laptop, it's anywhere I have a device or computer, and it all syncs over iCloud. So no matter where I open it up, the latest version is available to me. Syncing is really important. Yes, I found, I made most of my tables and things, charts, in a word processor using tables, and Numbers is like that. It's like making tables in a word processor, but with all the functionality of a spreadsheet. So it was really intuitive for me, and I really like the way you can make things look. So I'm kind of learning the ropes on that, and I haven't found a system that's flowing for me yet, but that's what I'm working on right now. But the clipboard with an index card, that probably worked for me the best, the longest. And it's very possible that this is just an all-digital experiment, and I'll go back to that, but we'll see. I kind of like changing things up, and then I can talk about it. Yes, spreadsheets are fun, especially when you can color code them. All right, so this has been a much longer scope than I thought it would be, but you want to make sure if you're moving towards a digital system, you want to make sure that it syncs up with all of the versions, that all of the devices or wherever you're going to access them. You want to make sure it syncs. You want to make sure that you like it, because actually liking your planner is an important part of figuring it out. Because if you aren't drawn to it, if there's any kind of hurdle in turning to it, it's not going to work for you as well. So you want to take into consideration what appeals to you. And you also need to just be willing to iterate, to just try something out, just start somewhere and work with it and pay attention to, okay, what does work for me, what doesn't work for me, and go from there. So that's different from just hopping from one thing to another without thinking about it or without considering, but to start with one thing, knowing, I'm going to change probably from what I'm doing right here, but this is a starting point, and I'm going to pay attention And the next change that I make will be intentional, conscious, and based on what I learned. And so then every time it's like you're building on to the next thing you're doing. You're not hopping from one thing to another necessarily. It might look like that, but it doesn't have to be that. It's not the same thing as hopping from one thing to another. It's building, learning more about your habits, more about what appeals to you and works for you, and just building. But you've got to jump in and start somewhere, or you're never going to learn and know what will work for you. So always be purposefully iterating and building on what you know. And especially if you do have kids, or even if you don't, I mean, just life changes. Life changes pretty fast when you are growing your family, and the younger your kids are, the faster your life changes, because, there's the lots of naps, the not as many naps, the no naps at all, the kind of things you have to do, they all change so quickly that you have to be iterating your planning system as well to keep up and continue working for you. What worked for you in the past isn't necessarily going to work for you now. Yes, interval planning. There you go. Yep, life can throw you all kinds of curveballs. So you can just roll with the punches and do the right next thing, as they say, and work the plan. So let's see. I'm going to turn this back around so you can see my website again at simplifiedorganization.com. And you can find the Evernote course. You can sign up for that at simplifiedorganization.com/Evernote. You can find replays of my previous scopes at simplifiedorganization.com/watch. And you could there's all kinds of freebies there. Just explore simplifiedorganization.com. And thanks for joining me. I have a little girl here. I think I need to get a snack. So talk to you later.
I'm not hungry.